time, y'all. Time for Big Boys Boxing.
I would never let a white boy beat me. I would never let a white boy beat me. Possible opponent. Big right hand, he's out. And it's over. It's over, and it's going to be a knockout victory for Joe Smith.
What's going on, team? Here we are, back at Big Boys Boxing. I'm Jono, your host, and I hope everybody's doing really well. So it was a pretty decent weekend of boxing just gone. There was a few fights I watched. I did pretty well with a few bets this weekend. Had 4 bets come through. I've had a few fail in the last month. A couple of little wins to cover my butt. But yeah, in the profit this week. So I'm a happy man. And actually really enjoyed a women's fight this weekend between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. It was a competitive fight. There was many questions about the power of Amanda Serrano at lightweight. Those questions were answered. She nearly knocked Katie Taylor smooth out in round 5, was it? I think, yeah. So it was a very good fight. I gave the first 2 rounds to Katie. The second round was much tighter than the first, but I thought Katie did enough behind her jab to win the fight. So just getting into Discord here, getting in the live panel, getting that sorted while I'm mumbling away. But rounds 3, 4, and 5, Katie was getting the snot beaten out of her. Round 5 was the one she nearly got stopped. She was off balance. She was taking a beating. She was standing there trying to box, trying to trade with Amanda Serrano. She found out rather quickly that even at lightweight the power is real. She copped a fair few, but she did manage to survive. And in the 6th round, she went back to her boxing, got back to moving, pot shotting. The shots Katie was landing were definitely not as heavy and effective, but she was landing more of them, clean scoring shots. I think I gave round 6 as well to Serrano. It was a closer round. But from 7 to 10, I gave them all to Katie. I think when I scored live, I might have given the 6th round to Katie, so I had it 97-93, but 96-94 I thought was a fair score, and the right person got the nod on the day. There's a lot of people associated with social media and Jake Paul pretty much that are screaming robbery. But seriously, I don't think it was a robbery. It's certainly worth a rematch though. I wouldn't even argued with a draw really. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that one again. But I'd like to see 3 minutes. 3-minute rounds. I know I'd eventually like championship fights with the woman to go 3 minutes, 12 rounds, but 3 minutes, 10 rounds would be fine as a transition for now. But yeah, 3-minute rounds, I think they have to be brought in. I think not necessarily because we'd see more knockouts, but even though I think we would, but I think it's sexist to have 2-minute rounds, isn't it? So, let's get it. Another fight I really enjoyed this weekend was Liam Smith and Jesse Vargas. I was always picking Liam Smith to win. I had one bet just for the win, just in case. And in another one of my multis, I had Liam Smith by knockout. So, Liam Smith got the knockout in the 10th round. Pretty much the pressure of Beefy got to Vargas later on in the fight. Vargas has fought at lower weights before. He's never been stopped, but he's never fought a pressure fighter at 154 like Liam Beefy Smith. So he gets the knockout in the 10th round. I picked the 11th round. Not on my bet, but in the betting league, which I'll get to very shortly. Running a prediction league over on the Big Boys Boxing Discord server with a cash prizes up for grabs over there. We've got a $75 New Zealand dollar prize for first. We've got a 25 New Zealand dollar prize for second, and that's all the money we'll be giving away. But we're 2 weeks in. The first week we only had one fight to pick from. We changed it up a bit. We had 3 fights last week, and this coming week I think we're going to probably end up with 5 fights to pick from. But anyways, we'll get to that shortly. So yeah, Liam Beefy Smith gets the stoppage win in the 10th round. That was a good fight to watch. The other big fight of the weekend was Shakur Stevenson taking on Oscar Valdez, a unification fight for 2 belts. I think it was a WBA and WBC. I can't even remember which belts, but it was 2 belts at 130 that they were up for grabs. I was always picking Shakur in this fight. I was wondering whether he was going to maybe knock him out or not. Valdez, definitely a trier. But he couldn't compete with the speed, accuracy, and evasiveness of Shakur Stevenson. It went the distance, and Shakur Stevenson gets the win. So that was a good fight. Also, we had the grandson of Muhammad Ali had a fight. I can't even remember who he fought, but he got a first round stoppage. Looked spectacular. The crowd went crazy chanting Ali, Ali. It was pretty spectacular. So good on Nico Ali Walsh for his win. And what was the other one? I saw Austin Williams got a knockout. He was in one of my multi-bets as well. Big ups to him. So yeah, it was a pretty entertaining Sunday of boxing here in New Zealand. Yes, Sunday in New Zealand. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm just trying to sort out a link for anybody in just a minute. Something's not right here. I'm trying to get an invite link, but I've messed it up somehow. Give me a sec here. Where is it? Invite people. I click on that. I usually got to change the link to add a membership, temporary membership, but it doesn't look like I can this time, so hopefully the link's still gonna work. Uno momento, señores and señoritas. Nah, I mustn't have to this time. What do we got here? Send a message, invite link to friend. Yeah, here's the link. I thought I had to edit it. There it is. Found it. Add temporary membership. That's what we want. Now we got it. So I'm about to drop a link in the chat for anybody who may like to join at any time. Paste that there, and we'll pin that to the top. Boom. Alright, so got mostly plant-based boxing in the house. What's up? Good to have you in. Phil Carl Roberts is in as always. And what else have we got to say? Yeah, I was close with the Williams fight. Extremely close. You know what, Phil? If I had have gone the 10th round, I would have had a perfect weekend. I would have taken all the points possible, because I got the 2 decision wins as well. You only get 3 points for them. But anyways, I'm going to show y'all the prediction league that we have running. Hopefully I've got it set up so I can do this properly. Right, so I go over to, I think I'll go here. There we go. Here's the Big Boys Boxing Discord server. This is our boxing chat here. There's a couple of things I mentioned there about some Kiwi fighters fighting this weekend, but we go over to our prediction league. Here it is. So this is the scoreboard currently. We've had 2 weeks. Like I say, the first week we only had 1 fight to pick from. Somebody else was organising this league, but they had to pull out, so Hannibal and I have taken over, and the first week we took over, these were the fights to pick from here. Everybody made their picks down here, right? We'll have a look in here. This is the thread. So here's my pick. See, I picked Liam Smith by KO round 11, Shakur Stevenson on points, and Katie Taylor on points. So I got the 2 decisions and missed, but our point scoring system up here, you can accumulate. The knockout fights are where you make all your points, so you get 1 point for picking the right winner, 2 points for picking the method of victory. So if it's a decision, you get 1 point for picking the right person, plus your 2 points for the decision, so that makes 3 points. But if there's a stoppage, you pick a round, but if your pick is in the right half of the fight, you can get 3 points on top of your 3 that you've already got. And then for 4 points, you can pick the exact round, and that way you get methods 1, 2, 3 and 4, making a 10 point pick, and a draw is worth 5 points. So if you get, obviously if you're going to pick a draw, you don't pick anything else because you can't get any points for anything else, but you'd only get 5 points for the weekend. Okay, so this guy here, Rodolfo Riviera Jr., the man, picked Liam Smith 10th round stoppage and takes away the maximum points for that pick for the weekend of 10 points. So big ups and congratulations to Rodolfo Riviera for picking the exact thing on that fight. And actually, we better give him an emoji here. We want to give him fire. So yeah, Rodolfo got that one, but unfortunately he picked Amanda Serrano, so he got 0 for the second one, and he got the Katie Taylor one. He got the Shakur Stevenson one on points, so he picked up 3 points for that, and he picked up 10 points for the first one, so he beat me up by 1 point in the weekend. Prior to this, a few of us were drawn at 3 points. So yeah, and I'll leave Hannibal alone. He had a bit of a bad weekend there. So we'll leave Hannibal alone. Also, we had Phil Carl Roberts here and Mr. T made their picks as well. Yeah, Phil didn't do so great this weekend, but I think he got like 4 points or something out of the weekend. Mr. T got like 7. What did he pick here? He picked all decisions. Yeah, he picked all decisions. But anyways, so we tallied them up, and here's how our leaderboard is looking. Rodolfo Riviera, 13 points for the weekend. You already had 3, so 16 points. I got 12. I was already on 3, so I'm 15 behind. 1 behind. Mr. T in third, got 7 for the weekend. Added up to 10. Phil Carl Roberts got 4 for the weekend. He's up to 5. He only got 1 last weekend. We only had 1 fight to pick from last weekend. The Boxing Lounge didn't make any picks this weekend, but he's still not on the bottom of the table because he was one of the group of guys who had 3 points last week. Hannibal picked up 1 point this weekend. He had 1 point before, so he's on 2. And the Tekaphobe, he weight snobbed us this weekend for the picks. There was no heavyweight, so he didn't pick. He's strictly a heavyweight fan, so each into their own. And of course, Intangible, he had 0 because he picked Dillian White by round 6 in the first week. Didn't pick this week, so he's on 0, the bottom of the stack. But yes, there is $100 in prizes up for grabs. If you'd like to get involved, get over to the Big Boys Boxing Discord server. The link to the server is in the description. Anyone can come and join. The rules are all here, written in plain English. Get involved. I mean, you might be a little bit behind, but as demonstrated, if you get some knockouts in a weekend and you pick knockouts, you can pick up accumulated points rather quickly. And I think there'll be 5 fights this weekend to pick from. There'll definitely be the Canelo Alvarez fights, Canelo Alvarez and Dimitri Bivol. There'll definitely be Philip Hrgovic and Zhilei Zhang. I'm thinking about putting some fights off a card that we're going to look at because it is televised. I think Lanier Pero, heavyweight, is going to be having a fight. And also on that card is Kiwi unbeaten cruiserweight David Light, which we'll look into as well. But yeah, get over and get involved with the Prediction League. But also, we've got other channels over here as well, you know. We've got the Boxing Chat, of course, just general boxing chat in here. We've got live fight links. When there's a fight on, I drop links within a day of the broadcast of fights, so you can easily access fights if you haven't got a broadcast from where you are. There's Prediction League, of course, which we've just looked at. This is just a thread for anybody querying the scores, so you can comment down here. And also, what else have we got? We've got more channels. Here we go. We've got non-boxing checks, so that's just anything general. You can look in here and talk about anything you want. And finally, we've got game talk. So this is about gaming. I drop my Check the Chumps videos in here. Old Tommy Temper from the Boxing Lounge drops the odd video in here sometimes as well. And you talk about games that are coming out, like what's it called, Esports Boxing Club, or ESBC, and there's also another one that's meant to be coming out not too far away, called Round for Round Boxing. I see there's a few fighters signed to that, but hopefully we get a new boxing game this year, because we haven't had a new boxing game in over a decade. That's right. Fightnight Champion came out in 2011, so it's been a long time. Alright, so let me get back over to here and change this up. We'll get rid of Discord, boosh, and there's the cards. Well, this card that we're first going to have a look at. And before I jump over there, actually, no, it's fine. So, Dimitri Bivol, 19-0, WBA light heavyweight champion. Light heavyweight champion against Saul Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed 168 champion at 57, 1-2. Two draws. Who was the other draw against? Had a draw against Triple G. Who was the other one? I can't remember off the top of my head. It wasn't Lara, was it? I'm sure they called that a win anyway. inconsequential. We're looking to the future here. We've got this IBF final eliminator between Filip Hrgovic, 14-0, taking on Zhilei Zhang, 23-0 with one draw. The one draw, who was it against? Was it Jerry Forrest? No, it wasn't Jerry Forrest. Oh, we're about to find out. Yeah, it was Jerry Forrest. So in this fight, Zhilei Zhang put Forrest down 3 times in the first 3 rounds. Was it only a 6 rounder? What do we got? Oh, it was a 10 rounder. Yeah, he put Jerry Forrest down 3 times in the first half of the fight, but then gassed badly, and I think he got knocked down once and was looking worse for wear for the rest of the fight. Only just scraped out with a draw. I thought Jerry Forrest probably won that fight, but there was some contributing factors in that fight. I don't think we can take that performance as Zhilei Zhang's level, because he was anemic. He was suffering from kidney failure, and none of this was picked up prior to the fight. Got on top of all of it and everything's sorted again now, but there are other factors going against Zhilei Zhang. He is... Oops, no, hold on. Didn't want Hrgovic. I wanted Zhilei Zhang. Yeah, Elias Darius, 38 years old. He's getting right up there in age. Mind you, he hasn't had a particularly active career where he's been taking a lot of punishment, so maybe he'll be okay, but I'll be picking Filip Hrgovic to stop him in this fight, probably in about 3 to 4 rounds. Now, Zhilei Zhang, I'm pretty sure he's a silver medalist from the 2008 Olympics. I think that's right. Something like, yeah, 2008 Olympics. So he came second to Audley Harrison, maybe. Off the top of my head, I think that's Dilio anyway. But yeah, Filip Hrgovic, much younger, much hungrier, but he has been out of the ring for a while, and he has had trouble getting people to fight him. I mean, he is dangerous, but he doesn't bring a lot of hype, a lot of money. You know, risk versus reward has always been a problem for Filip Hrgovic, for opponents to take him on. But Zhilei Zhang took up the challenge after pretty much everybody in the top 15 turned down Filip Hrgovic. Oh, don't let me forget though, Luis Ortiz said he'd fight Filip Hrgovic. He said he wouldn't fight him because he was injured. And then, like 2 days after the fight was made between Zhilei Zhang and Filip Hrgovic, Luis Ortiz says, "Oh, I'll fight Hrgovic now." Freaking chump. It's crazy. But anyway, Filip Hrgovic finally got the final eliminator against Big Bang Zhilei Zhang. And that's on the Canelo Alvarez Dmitry Bivol undercard. I don't know. Maybe we'll be in for a pleasant surprise from Zhilei Zhang. Maybe he'll last longer than most think. I mean, he's a big dude. They're both 6'6". Zhilei Zhang's a southpaw, so it will be interesting. We'll see what happens. I'll probably do a proper prediction video for that before the weekend. And I'd like to do a live commentary stream for that fight in particular too. Hopefully I won't get copyrighted, because BT Sport, I tried to do a live commentary stream for White versus Fury, and I started it before the first round even finished. That issued a copyright takedown notice when I wasn't showing any of their content with any of the audio. I've tried to get them to retract it. I've tried to counterclaim through YouTube saying it's my material, I didn't use anything from them, but I'm having no luck anywhere. My head is banging against the brick wall. I'm the type of guy, I don't give a shit how rich, how powerful BT Sport is. I have lawyers in my family, so I think I'm going to have to write BT Sport a letter or get my family member lawyer to write a letter with the letterhead of their lawyer's firm on it to BT Sport to get this copyright strike removed. I couldn't give a flying F about the content that I never got to stream, but I want that copyright strike removed because I didn't use any of their content. They have no right to claim content that isn't theirs, and they're basically trying to step on this little guy, and I'm not fucking having it. Hell to the no, I ain't having it. But anyway, more into this card. We've got Montana Love, stick and move kind of guy, 17-0-1. He'll be taking on Gabriel Goles Valenzuela. I think hopefully I didn't butcher that too much. 25-2-1. Fight may be okay. Super lightweight, welterweight. You're getting down to the fights that I'm not really that interested in, to be honest. This guy 12-0 taking on this guy 22-2-1. Meh. It's not really that interesting to me, but I'm sure it will be interesting some of you. Oh, Joet Vasquez. Josecito Vasquez. Flyweight, that's why I don't know who the hell he is. Middleweight, oh, this is more my style. Alex Espino, 9-0-1 and an 8-rounder, taking on Aaron Silva, who's 9-0. That could be a good little matchup. Could be a good bit of fun. And yeah, the rest, pretty much not interested at all in any of them myself. So that is that. I'll come back to this in a minute because I want to look at a couple of other things that y'all might not know about. So we'll get back over to here, and I will just have a look here what's going on in the chat. Phil Cole Roberts, Canelo drew with George Juarez. Okay. In a 4-rounder. It must have been earlier in his career. Yeah, it had to be 4 rounds. That's what Ortiz always does. He did it with White Joshua. Yeah. It's chump style, man. It's chump style shit. Look, making himself look like a real clown. He should just keep his mouth shut. Forget BT, Jono, you reckon? Just ride out the strike. I gotta be extremely careful for 3 months. As it was, YouTube, when you get a copyright strike, you're blocked from streaming for 7 days, so I couldn't do any live commentaries. Yesterday, it was the 7th day. Pissed me right off. Yeah, copyright takedown for a commentary stream. Exactly. That's like fucking Don King shit. If you try and do something about a Don King event, even before it's streamed, it'll get copyright taken down before you even go on air. Just the title is enough for those pricks to take it down. The problem with the system is there's no penalty for these big guys to request copyright takedowns if they're false. If they're false, there's no penalty for these pricks. So they can stomp all over us little guys as much as they want. And, you know, if you're not an argumentative prick like me, then you're just going to lie down and take it up the arse. And fuck that. I ain't having it. I ain't having that shit, man. So yeah, they've had their week to respond to my email. and I will be getting in touch with my family member who is a lawyer, a high court lawyer. So maybe a letter from a lawyer's firm that works with high court cases may actually make them sit up and take notice. Pack of pricks piss me right off. Marlo's Corner in the house. What's up, bro? Good to see you, man. If y'all haven't checked out Marlo's Corner, some of the best live commentary on YouTube with Trey X on the mouthpiece over there during the rounds. It's a great channel. They do some good chats as well. I really enjoy Marlo's Corner. And, you know, if you're looking to get an American perspective that you don't get all the silliness like certain channels, Marlo's Corner is the place to be, man, I tell you. Peace, chat. What else we got here? Tommy Temper. I meant fuck him. Yeah. I get you, Tommy. I get you, bro. Do you have the address for Frank Warren Caravan? Well, yeah, he had to pay all those millions out, didn't he? So did he have to sell his house to pay the bills? I don't know. We could probably find Frank Warren's caravan parked up on Tyson Fury's lawn somewhere. He probably can't even afford to pay the fees in a trailer park now. Whole fish eyes is broke as a joke. He lost that purse bid to Don King for the Daniel Dubois versus Trevor Bryan fight. So pitching a few pennies, mind you, he did put in a decent bet for that. I just don't know how the hell Frank Warren got $3 million from somewhere to pay to win that purse bid. Which fighter has he ripped off to get that money? Cracks me up. Adari in the house as well. Good to have you in, man. What else we got here? Yeah, no, I don't have the address, but like I say, Phil, I reckon if I was looking for Frank Warren's caravan, you just need to find Tyson Fury's place and maybe go check out the back lawn, and Frank will probably be sitting there in his caravan cooking up some beans out of a can. Yeah, it is what it is. I love making fun of Bricktop. The winner of Tony Yoka versus Martin Bakole should fight the winner of Philippe Hrgovic and Zhili Zhang. Wow. That would be ideal, but unfortunately I don't see it happening because Philippe Hrgovic has had so much trouble trying to get himself into a position. And I'm going to say it when, not if, when he beats Zhili Zhang, he will be IBF mandatory. So there's no need for him to take any more risks. I think the winner of Martin Bakole v Tony Yoka, let me just have a quick look, because this Tony Yoka's pretty high in the IBF rankings too. I'm just going to have a quick look, find the rankings here. Where are we? Rankings. Official rankings. Official rankings. So we got IBF. Here we go. They still got not rated with IBF at number 1, which I think is good. I think all sanctioning bodies should do that. Number 1 should be reserved for the confirmed mandatory challenger. And that's the deal what the IBF does. It takes out the confusion because, you know, Frank Warren says it all the time. Joe Joyce has been number 1 mandatory for blah 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 blah. Joe Joyce is not the mandatory for the WBA. He's just number 1 rated. And if every sanctioning body left that number 1 position as not rated when they don't have a stipulated mandatory, then there's no room for confusion. So I'm down with that. Number 2 with the IBF is Luis Ortiz, Philip Hrgovic, Anthony Joshua at 4, Tony Yoka at 5. So I expect Tony Yoka to beat Martin Bakole. It might not be real easy, but I think he will get through that, not too much of a problem. And at that point, he should go up above Anthony Joshua at the very least. Philip Hrgovic should be up at the number 1 spot. So, yeah, Yoka and Hrgovic will be an Olympics rematch, wouldn't it? It'd be okay, but I'd expect maybe Luis Ortiz to end up facing who would it be? There we go. Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz and Luis Ortiz are already fighting, and there's been an announced date for that actually. Was it the 13th of August? They are going to be fighting. So that's going to put one of them right up high in the rankings as well. Joe Joyce looks like he's going to be fighting Joseph Parker in the WBO. That'll be a WBO final eliminator if the fight actually gets made. Once again, Frank Warren's telling everybody that it's a sure thing, it's pretty much done, but there's word coming out of the Parker camp saying that no, it's not done. We're working through it. We hope to get it done, but as of now, it's not done. So there's a few fights within the IBF rankings that are going to switch things up a bit. We've also got Joshua facing Usyk probably by the late June, I think they said. Late June or late July, one of those. So that's going to mix things. These rankings, you're not going to be able to look too much into them until these fights are out the way. But it's good that we've finally got a little bit of action amongst the top rated guys in the heavyweight division. Things may get sorted out and changed up a bit. So come, say, mid-August after the Ruiz and Ortiz fight, there's going to be a lot of jumbling around. We'll see who will be sitting where. So, yeah, very interesting to see what's going on. We've been pretty, how do we put it? Pretty inactive with the heavyweights over the last little while. We had the Parker v Chisora fight at the start of the year with Martin and Ortiz and a few others on that card early on. Then we had a big gap, and then we've just had Fury v White. And like I say, we've got this IBF Eliminator coming up this weekend as well for the heavies, so that's good. Alright. What do we got? Phil Cole Roberts. I expect Yoka to beat Bakole. Yeah. Zhili Zhang versus Martin Bakole. Well, that's a good fight, Adari. That's a good fight. I think the two losers of those two fights matching together is a good shout. I like it. Who's Bakole with? Is he with Matchroom? He was. I don't know if he still is. I know he's still got Billy Nelson training him, which I don't like. I don't like Billy Nelson. That fight that Martin Bakole had, who was it against? Is it Michael Hunter? Where he it looked like his shoulder was dislocated and he couldn't lift his arm, he couldn't defend himself, he got stopped. But Billy Nelson was saying, this is your career, just get out there and fight through it. Man, that sort of stuff is what wrecks a fighter. If your shoulder's been dislocated and you can't move your arm, yeah, it's tough to be a warrior and carry on through the fight, but potentially wreck your shoulder and maybe be hindered for the rest of your career if you still have one after that. In that situation, I thought it would have been better for Billy Nelson to pull Martin Bakole out of that fight and save him for another day. He was going to lose either way. So, yeah, I do like that shout though, Adari. I do like that shout. I would expect Ruiz to beat Ortiz if he isn't carrying too much weight. Yeah, well, I've seen a few training videos of Ruiz and he's looking fairly trimmish for him. But you never know with Andy Ruiz. He has this habit of recycling old material when it comes to social media. He does it with photos as well. Making people think he's this much in shape or that much in shape. Like the Ruiz Joshua rematch, he was posting pictures of him looking pretty trim, but I noticed myself that some of those photos were pictures from when he was training to fight Joseph Parker, where he was looking a lot trimmer. So, you just got to be careful with what you see with Andy Ruiz. But I do expect Andy Ruiz to beat Luis Ortiz as well. I mean, Andy Ruiz has a better chin than Charles Martin. I'll just say that straight out. So, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure at 55 years old, Luis Ortiz's power ain't going to be able to carry him through, because there's going to be a hell of a lot of punches coming back from Andy Ruiz. They might not be as powerful, but there's going to be a lot of them. And if Luis Ortiz is going to go down from a Charles Martin jab, there ain't no way he's going to last through barrages of the fastest hands in the heavyweight division. No to the way. No to the way. Hemi Ahio versus Carlos Takam. Yeah, I like that fight, but I can't see it happening. There will be an announcement in the next little while for Hemi Ahio. He will be fighting on the George Kambosos Devin Haney undercard along with Junior Farr. Junior Farr is going to be fighting Lucas Big Dummy Brown. That should be a reasonably easy night for Junior Farr. I think the style matchup is all wrong for Big Dummy Brown. I think he's too slow. He's never going to be able to catch up with Junior Farr. It's probably going to be a stinker of a fight, to be honest. Junior Farr's kind of like the New Zealand version of Huey Fury, really. He's very defensively minded. He's pretty sharp, doesn't have a lot of offense to offer, but he knows how to hit and not get hit. So, but Hemi Ahio, there should be an announcement for him to have an opponent on that card. They are both Lou DiBella fights. It's a Lou DiBella show. I have no idea who he will be fighting, but my suggestion to Lou DiBella would be get an exciting local fighter so it doesn't cost you too much. There's going to be a decent amount of money forked out for that card, so I'd say get Django Apilu. And many of you won't know who I'm talking about. I can't even remember his real name. They call him Django Apilu. He fought Justice Huni in the Australian title fight, and he throws a lot of punches and he's exciting. He comes to win. He also fought Lucas Brown. Lucas Brown was getting pieced up for a while, but Apilu ran out of gas, and then Big Dummy Brown poured it on and stopped them. But if he's in shape, he's not a huge fighter because Hemiahio is only 6 foot tall as well. But Hemiahio is currently he's the inaugural Middle East heavyweight champion when he beat a guy. What was his name? He beat him in 2 rounds. Muhammad Ali Bayat Farid was his name. He's a cruiserweight. He's a decent sort of fighter. He fought Jack Massey. Many of you may know who Jack Massey is. But I think Hemiahio and Django Apilu would be a great dust up for that card. I'd like to see some better level opponents for Hemi, but being realistic on such a big card with bigger fights that'll be higher up the card on there, I don't think there's going to be too much money to fork out for Hemi. But something to stay busy before he can start trying to fight. I'd like to see him take on something along the lines of Oscar Rivas or who else is there? Oh, the one I really want to see is Hemiahio and Alan Babic. Oh man, that would just be fire! But it ain't happening. Some of these smaller heavyweights, or even that guy Rizeki who fought Rivas for the inaugural title. Actually, he's fighting this weekend. That Rizeki guy fighting on a Canadian card. It says it's at cruiserweight, but I'm not sure if Boxing register the Bridgerweight division. I don't know, it is what it is anyway. Anyways, we'll move on. I would like to mention there is a couple of fights happening this weekend. I'll just look them back up to make sure. We've got David Light, like I said earlier in the stream, unbeaten cruiserweight at 17-0. He's an Isaac Peach fighter, I'm sure of it. He's going to be taking on Anthony Martinez, who is 12-1, and this is going to be a televised event. I'm sure it's, here it is. It says Media USA Fight, so I guess that means Fight TV in America. David Light and Anthony Martinez are going to be headlining that card by the looks of it. The co-main is a heavyweight fight, and that's going to be Lanier Pero 6-0, who's going to be taking on Hector Perez, who is 7-4. So maybe not that competitive, the heavyweight fight, but I've got to discuss it with Hannibal yet. Might be throwing these two fights at the top of the card into the prediction league options for this week. We'll be deciding that tonight, but that's one of my suggestions to go on with Canelo Bivol and Hrgovic and Zhang. What else have we got on this card? Super lightweight, I'm not really interested in that one, to be honest, but what else? I'll just see if we've got any bigger weights. We've got a welterweight fight, don't know the dude. Featherweight, not interested. Super welter, not really that interested. Super bantam, definitely not interested. Here we go, light heavyweight. Isaac Carbonell, Carbonell, Carbonell. Isaac Carbonell, 5-0, is going to be taking on Jose Manuel Medrano. Don't know who the dude is. He's 5-6-0. But there is a heavyweight fight on that card as well. There's also another cruiserweight fight right down at the bottom. Ulysses Diaz, who's 12-1, in a 6-rounder against Mario Jose Riva, R-I-V-A, Riva, it must be. He's 14-9, so meh. But there is also another Kiwi back in action. Just give me a sec. Where is it? The little brother of Joseph Parker, John Parker, will be fighting this weekend in New Zealand. He is 7-0. Let's see if he's had any fights, because he had a brain bleed. Okay, he fought in 2021, 2020. It was way before that. 2020. He's had a few fights since he had that brain bleed. There it is, 2017. So yeah, there it is. He was going to be fighting on the undercard of Joshua Parker, but due to having to have an MRI to get a license in the UK, they found a brain bleed, and he had to have some surgery to get that sorted out. And then after that, he was suffering some mental health issues. Some of y'all may remember Joe was over in the States getting ready for some fight. Can't remember what fight that was, but John was over there at training with Joe, and then when they come back to New Zealand prior to the fight, it might have been for the Flores fight. Might have been, I can't remember anyway. Yeah, I think it was the Flores fight. But anyway, he got into an altercation with somebody at the airport and punched someone over. And a lot of this was caused due to some of the mental health issues he was having. Being a boxer and not being able to box for some time certainly can get to you. But he's been back since. He had his first fight back in September of 2020. Ben Williams he fought. Then he fought Jason Tuela. Oh, I remember seeing that one, Jason Tuela. Then in 2021, he fought, what's this one? How do we say this? Igalami Taiti? He's a Taiti. I fought the same dude twice actually. And now he's going to be fighting Dylan Wright. This is going to be a cruiserweight fight. Dylan Wright is 2-5, so he's got a losing record. It's going to be at the ABA Stadium in Auckland. Not too far from me, just to drive into the city for me. The fight is going to be a 4-rounder, so it's only short, but good to see John Parker back in the ring. Hopefully it's going to help with his mental state and so on and so forth. But yeah, looking forward to seeing John Parker back in the ring, man. Alright, so what else we got over here? Andrew, I would like to see David Benavidez move up to light heavyweight. Yeah, we should. He's a massive 168 fighter. But, it's all about the Canelo sweepstakes. If he thinks he can get a Canelo fight, then he's got to try and get one at 168. But depends what happens with Canelo as well. He might start vacating belts at 168 and continue boxing at 175. I think that's probably going to be the case if he can get past Dimitri Bivol. And I think Dimitri Bivol was the trickiest fight at 175 for Canelo. Yes, there is Artur... no, it's not Artur Beterbiev. Is it? the heavy hitting light heavyweight champion. Is it Artur Beterbiev? Yeah, it is. Artur Beterbiev. He's definitely the hardest puncher, but I don't think he can hold a candle to Dmitry Bivol's boxing skills. So I think that fight would actually be easier for Canelo because he'll be able to hit Beterbiev easier. Sure, Beterbiev's going to be trying to hit him, but he's slower than Canelo. So yeah, David Benavidez move up. I think I'd like to see him try and obtain a mandatory position and force a fight against Canelo. But the dude's got discipline problems. He's lost his title on the scales once. I think he's lost the title twice, hasn't he? Once for putting powder up his nose, and once for losing it on the scales. So, dude's got big discipline problems. Maybe making 168 is just too much for him. I don't know. Lucky they found that brain bleed for sure, Phil. For sure, man. That could be the end of a fighter's life if they get hit in the right spot with that sort of thing. I've just got a courier here. Wait a second, team. I'll be back. Sorry about that. New headsets just turned up. Kids have wrecked my ones. Currently I've got one headset with a mic. The headphones work, but the mic doesn't. And my other headset, the headphones don't work and the mic does. So I've got one headset next to my keyboard with the mic poking up and one on my head. But I've got a new one now, so it's all good. Where are we? Just looking at the chat here. Frank Sanchez v Deontay Wilder. Ooh. Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. There'd be a lot of booing from the crowd though, I imagine. Because Frank Sanchez ain't going to want to get involved with the power of Wilder. He'll do what he does best. Run around all night, popping a jab, throwing the odd right hand and getting the hell out of dodge. And yeah. I see Hughie Fury keeps saying he's going to be fighting somebody that nobody wants to fight. Maybe he might be trying to take on Frank Sanchez. Maybe. I don't know. But that's like a... Can you imagine? It'd be like Dancing with the Stars with those two puffs. They'd be dancing around each other looking for opportunities all night and hardly anyone throwing any offense. But I don't know, maybe that's a fight that could be made. When Hughie Fury said he's looking to announce a fight against somebody that nobody wants to fight, I instantly thought Luis Ortiz, because that's the common theme, isn't it? He's the boogeyman, even though he's over 40, gets knocked down with jabs. But, you know, people keep banging on about this. Luis Ortiz is the most feared man in boxing. It's another case of risk versus reward. You know, like Filip Hrgovic. Nobody wants to fight him. Yeah, they're risky, but I think Luis Ortiz is a hell of a lot less risky than he used to be. But there ain't much reward for fighting him. But Frank Sanchez v Wilder is an interesting thought there, Adari. Philco Roberts, I can't see Wilder fighting again. Oh, really? I don't know what to think with Deontay Wilder at the moment. You know, he's saying he's going off to Mexico to eat some psychedelic drugs and make a decision while he's fucked up. Not the smartest thing to say, I don't think, but hey, it's a common theme with Deontay Wilder too. He doesn't seem like he's Got all the cutlery in the drawer sometimes, that man. But we'll see what happens with Wilder. Surely he's got to make an announcement about what he's doing one day in a little while. Peyote title. In peyote time. Hard case. Jarrell Miller versus Derek Chisora. Let's get that. I'd love to see that. That's a hella good fight. That's a hella good fight. But Jarrell Miller can't fight till September. That's when his ban expires. So we'll see what happens. He'd been in getting some work with Tyson Fury in camp. But shit, can he make it to September without getting popped for some other drug? Who knows? Who knows? But that's a hell of a good fight I'd like to see. Yeah, definitely would be fireworks. His next comeback fight. Yeah, it's a good matchup, but shit, we're allowed to dream, huh? Alright, I don't think there's much else to be talking about. I guess we do have, when is that Bacoli v Yoka fight? Let's have a look. I think it's not this weekend coming, I think it's the weekend after, so yeah, it's Tony Yoka. Tony Yoka v Martin Bacoli is on the 14th, so yeah, it's not this weekend coming, the weekend after. So a good few weeks of action. I think there's even another fight after that, the weekend after, for the heavies as well. Just have a quick look at this Yoka card. Last time I looked, they didn't have anything else confirmed on it. So we've got a middleweight fight as the co-main event. I don't know how we say this. Farrhad. Farrad Seed, who's 8-0-1, will be fighting in a 10-rounder against the almighty unbeaten TBA. So not confirmed. We do have another one confirmed there, but shit, doesn't even say what weight it is. Maybe it's just a don't weigh in your fight. I don't know. There's no weight. Yeah. There's a whole lot of fights on here, or 3 of them that have no weight. No weight stipulation. Ooh, who's this? Victor Yoka. Who is Victor Yoka? He's on debut. Interesting. Just looking into him. Says division. No division. Is he Tony Yoka's brother or what? Says he's inactive. 0 bouts, 0 rounds because it's his debut. 0% KO ratio. Nationality French. Height 5'9.5". So he's definitely not a heavyweight. 176 centimeters tall. So he's probably like a welter. Residence Paris. Nothing much else on the dude. He's certainly going to have a hard time trying to beat the almighty unbeaten TBA though. So yeah, that's news to me. I don't know if Tony Yoka's even got a brother, but this dude's fighting the first fight on the card. Victor Yoka. First fight of his career. Interesting. But what else we got here? Frank Sanchez v Otto Wallin. If Wallin's got any brains, he'll stay the hell away from that fight. He's not quick enough to deal with Sanchez. Mind you, I think a lot of people do underrate Otto Wallin. He went the distance with Tyson Fury, busted his eye, gave him some real trouble. Some people think Wallen even won that fight. It's probably good that Dillian White pulled out of that fight when they were going to make that, because I don't think Dillian White would have got his title shot. I think Otto Wallen would have beat the living snot out of that boy. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think that's about us for today. Yeah, good fights to come over the weekend. Canelo Alvarez, Dmitry Bivol, Filip Hrgovic, Zhilei Zhang. We've also got the David Light and Anthony Martinez, I think it was his name. Also on that card is going to be Lenier Pero, the heavyweight 6-0. Taking on some dude. Can't remember. I haven't got it in front of me. But yeah, like I say, also look out for those Kiwi boys fighting this weekend. David Light and John Parker. I don't know if there'll be a broadcast for the John Parker one. Actually, let me quickly look that up. John Parker box rec. John Parker box rec. Where's the event? There it is. Event, matchmaker, promoter. CTP boxing, matchmaker Craig Thomas. No, it doesn't say anything about a media, but sometimes these New Zealand cards pop up on a just a normal TV channel over here in New Zealand. So it's on Saturday the 7th of May. It'll be Friday for a lot of you in the world. If something does come up, I will notify everybody in the live fight links. I will drop a link to it if it is going to be on TV. So yeah, keep an eye out Friday or Saturday morning on the Big Boys Discord server. But yeah, once again, that we are running a prediction league over on Big Boys Boxing Discord server. The joining link says Discord server. It's in the description. Get over, have a look around. There's lots more than just a prediction league there, but we are giving a first and second prize, combined value of 100 New Zealand dollars at the end of the year for that prediction league. So get into it. So yeah, that is basically it from me today. I hope you all have enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm just looking for my software. I've lost it. There it is. Alright, yeah, so yeah, be sure to make sure you do those three things, and you won't miss stuff in the future. So that's it from me today, and I'm out of here. See you.
So that's us for today. I hope you have enjoyed. You can show your appreciation with a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be sure to check out our Discord community where you can find boxing news, fight links, live streamed fights, and much more. So look after yourself and your family. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I'm out. See you!